How is everyone today? Welcome to my Facebook Live. I'm Patty Toller, and I am excited to be here with you. I'm going to give folks a few minutes to come on. Oops. I don't know if my camera's doing as weird a things for you as it looked like to me it was, but here we are. Um, so welcome, and I'm going to give people a few minutes to get on. And as you're coming on, I'd love for you to say hi. Tell me maybe where you're from. I know I have a lot of people registered today, but I also know sometimes they show up in time and sometimes they don't. Um, Gosh, got so much response from last week's, and I thank you, for interacting. Had a lot of people that watched the replay, so that was really fun. So anyway, I would love, yeah, put some messages in there for me. Say hi, say where you're at. Anyone out there like to double their income in 30 days? Hey, anybody out there? So that's what I'm going to talk to you about. When you get done with this, I'm going to give you the four keys to doing just that through owning your sales. The fastest way to cash is sales, but it's not only the fastest way, it is the only way. Okay, you have no business if you don't have sales. So, and anyone out there ever felt uncomfortable, awkward, sleazy, just didn't want to pick up the phone or jump on that Zoom call and make that connection with their ideal prospect? I bet that's why you're here. So I I've been down that route. I am not a natural salesperson. I am very much an introvert. I'm rather hang out at the farm or with animals. I'm a horse gal and I love my dogs. Or maybe just sit in front of the fireplace with a good book. We're getting into fireplace weather here in Montana where I live. I live in western Montana, big sky country. So my what I want to say path here was very outside the box. My first entrepreneurial ventureship was as a horse breeder. I bred world-class Arabian horses, but unfortunately, my husband and I, the market kind of crashed big time, and we had to scramble around and figure out some sources of income. And I found that a resume as being, although quite successful and good at breeding Arabian horses, didn't draw me in, for a lot of jobs. They were not knocking down the path to hire me. So I entered real estate, and I did that for about 3 years. And I did learn a little bit about sales, but it was hard for me. Like I said, I'm just not that outgoing. I like to service people, take good care of them, get to know them one on one. And the market was at that time. I needed income, and so I started looking around for other ways, other things to do. Once again, I was not in huge demand, but I'm very stubborn and very persistent. And once I've made that commitment, I made up my mind. That was the best quest for me, was to find a business-to-business sales position. And at that time, they just started requiring you to do personality test. And I literally flunked it 2 or 3 times. But the last time I flunked it, it was for a job I really did want. I knew the company, it was a local company, print company. I'd been a customer of theirs, and I really wanted that job. So, in the meantime, as synchronicity would have it, somebody had recommended that I read Think and Grow Rich. Now, I'd never heard any of this stuff, universal laws, law of attraction, how your mindset makes a big difference as to your outcome. None of that, none of that. So I just read the book. I mean, I just like soaked it in, and I used the principles in that book to literally land a job that I wasn't qualified for. But I sold, in spite of my lack of a sales personality, myself into the position. Over the owner's objections, I sold the sales manager. He and I did resonate. And so I had this job. I had no idea what to do. They did some training, within the company, But I literally had to dig in and really figure it out if I wanted to be successful. And my goal was to create a steady and consistent six-figure plus income. So I did that. I listened to tapes, studied the old masters, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, some of the others, and I really learned and grew, and it opened my doors into the power of personal development and how much you can change your results without changing the essence of who you are. So as I learned to sell, I had to create kind of my own modality around it, because I wasn't outgoing, and so many of the tactics, techniques, and strategies that they teach you, in your traditional sales training, especially at that time, really didn't fit my personality. It was much more much more for somebody that had that outgoing kind of forceful personality. So I had to really learn to how to sell by using what I did do well, which was connect, which was care about people, which was listening well, and really learning to understand their business and be able to advise them and serve them at a much higher level than somebody that was just in there to make the sale. I wanted long-term clients. And I got that, ended up selling well over $1 million a year. Hey, everybody that's coming on. I see you're coming on now. I have to, yeah, I have to, where did I do my glasses here? I dropped them on the floor. Um, Put these on to see your names, and then you get glare. Technology is just so great. All right. I see you are coming on. I have somebody coming from Vancouver Island. I have never been to Vancouver. I have wanted to go to Vancouver Island. I have been to Canada a couple times. I made a trip to your capital, quick trip over to into the French Canadian because I was buying some horses by a breeder over in that area. It's been quite a few years ago. And then we loved Glacier National Park, which is in Montana. The north end of it is actually in Canada. And it is our most favorite place in the world to go. And somebody from Ireland. Oh, cool, man. We're international today. It's so exciting and fun to see where our reach is. And Kenya. Oh, my goodness, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to make this worth your time here. And I'm really up today. I launched my new program, and we had our first live. It's a 4-week program, Heart to Heart Sales, and we had the best time on the live. So if somebody really, really felt like they wanted to get into it, I recorded everything. I could probably let you in. It was just an awesome experience. I had um, clients having transformational experiences there on our live Zoom. It's a small group, and I could really give them some one-on-one individual attention. It was very cool. Anyway, I interrupted my story, but I learned how to sell, and basically it was heart to heart, soul to soul. I really learned because I cared about my clients and doing a better job for them than anyone else was doing. That's what I teach you. So if you wanted to transform your business and you wanted to double your income, realistically, double your income in 30 days, there's 4 key components. And I'm going to have to run through them pretty quick today. Oh, howdy. Jennifer from Texas. Jennifer is one of my, well, I shouldn't say my favorite client. I have all my clients are favorite, but Jennifer's an awesome client and an amazing health coach, and who's helping me with my health, get my weight back down where I want it to be. And I love Texas. I haven't been there in a while, though. I'm probably due for maybe this winter when it's 30 below here. I'll come visit you in Texas, Jennifer. So we are going to run through these 4 components. These slides are awful short. We're allowed 30 minutes, and I talk a lot. What can I tell you? I love teaching you and helping you understand these things. It took me years to really master. It took me about 4 or 5 years to hit the top salesperson with the company that I worked with, and where I was selling over $1 million a year. And Um, it wasn't an easy trip. I will never tell you. I walked in, slam dunked it, and there I was. No, I had to learn it. I had to learn how to sell and still be who I was. And to this day, I hate networking events. Anyone out there hate to network? I do. I'd like to get on. I kind of love the Zoom ones, but to go into a chamber networking event, everybody's standing around, whatever you're there for. It's just I could go. I can cold call into any kind of a business and strike up a conversation. But I think it's the introvert in me. I like deeper connections. So there I am. Anyway, so I want to help you shorten up that cycle. I don't want you to take years. Your business can't afford it. You can't afford it. And you are here to service people with your gifts and your talents. And we need to get you in front of people doing that. More people, you know, creates more impact. And that's where you need to be. So we're going to just throw out all those old limiting beliefs and stories that you have around sales and salespeople and who they are and what they are and whether you deserve to create the abundance of income that you deserve. You deserve it. Okay. So the first point is actually developing unshakable sales confidence. And that's the kind of confidence where you can go in and you can talk to anybody about what you do. Doesn't mean you don't have to be pushy, and really you're going to be a lot more effective if you are an introvert because you're much more willing to listen, and that's where the power is. And not just listening to reply. That's what so many of us do. You're especially in a sales conversation. Unless you've really practiced it and you've really mastered it, you're listening to figure out what you're going to say next. Anybody out there ever been in that place? I sure have. I have. And so you have to master your sales conversations. And I will tell you, oh, I see somebody from India, my India contact. Hey, how are you doing? Um, and another Texas. Megan's from Texas too. So you've got to master your sales. Confidence comes from two things, guys. Your mindset. Your mindset journey is always a lifelong journey. I used to think I'm going to get to this point, man. I'm going to master it and I'm done. And that's not the way it is because every time you do something different, you up level what you're doing. You're jumping your program. Maybe you were asking 1900, now you want to go to 5000. So it can, and all of a sudden you can't say it anymore, right? You get to the ask and you're like, anybody who's done that. So that's why you have to master your sales conversations and you have to master your mindset first. I have in my one-on-one program, I spent a lot of time with my clients creating an avatar, not just of their ideal client, that's a good avatar to have, but more important, the avatar of you. Who do you need to be to create your visionary business? And that is part of that unshakable sales confidence. And you want that confidence so that you look forward to engaging with people about your business. And no matter what they throw at you, it's okay. You don't get flustered, you don't get upset. And but it takes practice. So if you're starting off and you don't have that, it's okay. It's learned. It's learned and acquired through practice, skill, and knowledge. So unshakable sales confidence is one thing. And in 30 days, if you really you dig in deep on your message, you work on your mindset, you clear some of those limiting beliefs, you can double your income in 30 days. So the second piece is going to be attracting your perfect prospects. Because when you are prospecting, you're talking to or interacting to your ideal or perfect prospect, your close rate's going to go way up. At 1%, at one point, I had a 100% close rate. So when I was selling B2B, but I only went after prospects that I knew were absolutely perfect. and that I was perfect for what they needed. So that's a piece of it. So how do you attract those perfect prospects? And I wished I had more time. I am teaching I have a process that does that I am teaching in my I teach my one-on-one clients. I'm going to be teaching it in my 30-day program. But it's really, really powerful. But the first thing is that clarity on your ideal client, but not just the avatars will say, oh, I want a woman that, say you're a health coach, maybe she likes to hang out at the gym and she's lost X number of pounds and she can't lose that last 10, or whatever it is. I want you to know your client at the emotional level. What's driving them? What's their driver? What's their emotional driver? If they are wanting to lose weight, well, why? What's important to them? Well, I want to be more fit. Well, why do you want to be more fit? What is important? Get down to their emotional drivers. And the kind of person that you want to work with. I don't want to work with just everyone. I mean, I love all of you guys, but the person that's really, I want somebody that's going to actually transform their life and business through working with me. So that has to be somebody that's willing to make a commitment, that's willing to take action, that is, inspired. My clients all have amazing gifts, and they are driven by something much more than money. Money is awesome, and we all want abundant incomes because when we have money, we have much more freedom, we have more control over our lives, and we can contribute so much more back to the world. However, my clients are all, and I bet all of you are driven by something beyond just the money. It's the impact, the gift, the people they want to help. So this attracting a perfect client is knowing first off who that is really, really clearly, and then owning the value of what you bring to the table. That is a really, really important piece. And as you do those things, you actually, and you're clearing your mind from the unlimited or the limiting beliefs and old stories that are holding you down about not being worthy of money, or money's being evil, or wealthy people are selfish, or they're not spiritual, or all those things. So you clear those out and allow the flow of abundance to come into you. All of this is raising your vibration, and that's how we attract them. We have to get in that area, that same frequency as our ideal prospects. And there again, you've got to know your client, you've got to know them inside and out, and you've got to really own them at the emotional level. And then you've got to match that with what it is that you're bringing to the table. It's the why you piece. When you sell in the B2B realm, you better know why you. Why would a company want to do business with you instead of five or six other printers that are knocking on their door? That was the reality of the world I was selling in. And so I had to know the why me. I had to know it inside and out. But not only did I have to know it, I had to believe it. I had to believe it in here, so that when I spoke it, it was the truth for me, and I knew that I absolutely could do a better job for this prospect than the person that they were currently dealing with. If I didn't believe this in my heart, in my very soul, that I could help my clients transform themselves to transform their business, and so and it always transforms their other things in their life, um, I wouldn't be nearly as effective at selling what I do as I am. So that's the piece of how to attract that ideal client. You've got to know who that client is on a very deep level, and you've got to know what you're bringing to the table, what problems you're solving, how you're solving them, and the why you. Why would they do business with you over some other coach or individual? Absolutely. So number three, I gotta watch my time, guys. Number three is your conversation, and I'm sure all of you that have heard me or seen me show up, Know that I often talk about conversations itself, heart to heart conversations that are authentic, that flow from you, your very center of who you are and the work you do and what you're bringing to this world. And they flow. And those conversations, you have to nail your conversations. This is going to mean some time. And I don't mean a script. A lot of people use scripts. They have a use if you're selling the same thing over and over again, like vacuum cleaners door to door. I mean, I actually did that one time. I was that broke. So I'm telling you, you've got to know what kind of questions you need to be asking your prospects and what order those questions are. And start writing them out, work on them, get a whole portfolio of ideal questions, practice them, say them in different ways, and use the language of your prospects. So the more you do that, the more that you can turn on a dime. You can go where they need to go with the conversation instead of a pre-planned script, because you have this whole portfolio of valuable places to go with it, depending on what they need, what they're telling you they need. But there is a basic order and certain specific questions. I teach a 6-step template, and then we build the custom conversation for you and your business and your prospect from that template. And so that's what I encourage you to do, is to build your conversation, own it, practice it, know it, practice it again, practice it with a friend. The hardest thing in the world actually is to do role plays when you are learning your sales conversation or changing your sales conversation. So you were doing pretty well, but now you want to up level. You want to go from $1,900 programs to $5,000 programs. So you need to practice that. You need to work with your language and know how to do it. The fourth piece is to absolutely know that ask. I mean, inside and out. So as you go through the center of your conversation, you will flow. Once you've got it down and you know what it is that you're asking, you're leading them. It's not manipulative because they're on that conversation with you. If they weren't curious about what you do or interested, they would have even gotten on the phone or on Zoom with you or even on a DM. If they're not interested, they're not going to engage back with you. So you flow into the ask. Anyone out there ever gotten to the ask and can't say the words? They just aren't comfortable. I have a client in my new 4-week program that told me she just slam dunks her lower end program, but her higher end program, she's freezing. That's why she's there with me for this experience. So it's got to be practiced, and you really have to know. You have to feel in your heart your why you, as you're asking that, because um, you're not. Most of you aren't born salespeople. You haven't got a lot of sales experience, and if you don't know in your heart that your prospect is absolutely going to be better off with whatever the project is that you're selling them or the program that you're selling them, you're going to have trouble selling it. But if you know that, if you absolutely know that, that's something I work with my clients on. I really go in deep on a subconscious level, clear out the garbage, and replace it with what they know in their head. I want them to feel in their heart. That's when it's powerful. That's when you don't hesitate. That's when you just go right into it and you say, my program, my 90-day program is $5,000. And then you get quiet, and you just let them sit with it. That's another secret of sales. That's a huge secret. So many salespeople try to talk over you. Don't be afraid of quiet lapses in your conversations. Let them stop and think about it. Do you have any questions? and I tend to tell my client if I know if it's not a good mix, I don't even give them. I mean, I don't even go into the details, quite honestly. If I'm talking with somebody and they're not motivated to move to that next level, they aren't hungry to create a bigger business and a bigger impact. Um, they're probably not going to be right for my program because it's designed for people that really want to move forward. They want to move forward now. They've been through other programs. A lot of them have been through um, group programs, which are I've been through some very high-end group programs. I've always gotten value, but they aren't usually transformational. That's where you get them from the one-on-one work. And so you have to nail what you do. You have to believe it in your heart and you nail it. You nail your conversation and it goes easily into the close, the ask and practice it. I can remember when I first went to work at that print company, they made us do practice, role plays they call it, and I hated it. I hated it. But then one day I just thought I'm going to be the best at this. I'm going to outsell all the guys, like I'm the singular female on the sales team. And I was quite determined. I was going to show those young men. I was a little older than them even then, and I was just going to show them I could outsell him. And then, of course, the owner of the company, he didn't want to hire me. So I had to. So what I decided to do is to really embrace it as a game. Okay, this is a game. This is fun, and no winning, no losing. I'm just in here to get really good at what I do. So that's what I also it doesn't really matter where my clients are. They have to be really motivated and committed because you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable. Even when I do the core belief transformation, we go in really deep. We heal a lot of the old stuff that's in there. They're still going to have to step up their level of activity. They're going to have to do things they haven't done before or do them in a different way. And most of us are a little uncomfortable when we're doing something new and different in a different way. All right. So to recap, I'm always out of time. Okay, one, absolute. You want to transform and double your income or more in 30 days. You've got to develop your sales confidence, and that's through clearing your mindset and your skills. Two, you've got to learn how to attract your perfect client or prospect that's going to turn is going to convert into your perfect client. So what does that mean? That means you've got to raise that vibrational level. So you've got to know who that client is. You've got to be able to meet them on an energetic level by clearing out your old stories, limiting beliefs, all that junk. And you've got to know what you're bringing to the table, and you've got to believe it in your heart. Then you've got to absolutely nail your sales conversation. That doesn't mean memorizing it. It means knowing the questions to ask, the order to ask those questions, knowing the whole process. What is the point of this conversation? And then nail your ask. Be comfortable asking for the sale. That is the four pieces. All right, guys. So happy to have you with me on here. If you have any interest in working with me one-on-one, and like I said, if somebody really, really wanted in on my 4 weeks program, um, I'd let you in. We had so much fun today on my live. I just can't tell you. It's my first group, and I'm stepping out doing things that I haven't done before, and I can remember thinking, oh man, I hope people get benefit from this. That's always my whole thing. And we had an amazing, amazing session. But if you really want to work one-on-one with me, I'm only taking 5 new clients in the next few weeks. I do a 90-day program. It's a deep dive. It's truly transformational. So if you are a committed entrepreneur and you are tired of taking programs where you are just getting minimal results, you want to transform your business, you've got to transform your inner life first, and I can help you nail your sales. But that really is the end process. First, we transform who you're being. We create your vision. We identify your soul signature and how to create your vision from your highest values. And then I help you own that so that you can have those conversations with absolute, unwavering confidence. All right, the bell's ringing. Metaphorically, it's 1 minute past, and I need to get off of here. Thank you for being here. Feel free to DM me if you want more information, or you just, you wanted to schedule a conversation, and we can explore if what I do is right for you. And you can DM me, you can email me, patty@pattytoller.com. And I look forward to next week. Take care and go out there and sell something. Bye bye.